Most bugs are either running away from danger or are the danger. But there's one insect that just stands there, staring you down, like it already knows it's the final boss of the garden. Big alien eyes, spiky dagger arms, calm, almost holy pose, and a habit of eating anything it can grab, including its own mate. Before this video ends, you're going to know why a headless praying mantis can keep fighting and even keep mating. And once you hear that, you'll never look at this peaceful little insect the same way again. If you like finding out what's really going on in your backyard, not just the cute butterflies and ladybugs, tap subscribe and stick around. Because the praying mantis might be the creepiest thing you've walked past without noticing. At first glance, you could mistake a mantis for a harmless leaf ornament. It sits perfectly still on a branch, gently swaying in the breeze. Those front legs are folded like it's meditating. That pose is where it gets the name praying mantis. It looks respectful, calm, almost wise. But that pose is a lie. Those folded arms are locked and loaded. A mantis isn't praying. It's waiting. Mantises belong to a group of insects called Mantidae, and everything about their body is built for ambush. That long, stretched-out neck isn't really a neck. It's part of the upper body, just behind the head, kind of like the torso of the insect. But it works like a turret on a tank. It lets the mantis lift its head and turn it side to side, so it can track you, the camera, or its next victim. Most insects can't do that. A fly mostly sees forward. A roach mostly reacts to movement and touch. A mantis looks. It studies. Giant compound eyes on the sides of the head, plus 3 tiny simple eyes on top for detecting light. It looks like it's watching you. Now remember this, because it matters for later. Those eyes and that movable head give the mantis incredible depth perception. It can judge exactly how far away its target is. That's one of the reasons its strike is so deadly accurate. But eyes don't win fights. Weapons do. And the praying mantis has some of the nastiest front legs in the insect world. Those praying legs are called raptorial forelegs. They fold up like a pocket knife and are lined with sharp spines. When a mantis strikes, those legs unfold and snap shut like a bear trap. The entire attack takes about 1/20th of a second, roughly 6 times faster than a human blink. To the victim, there is no warning. 1 second, it's free. The next second, it's locked in a spiky cage with no exit. We'll come back to that strike speed in a second, because it ties into how they eat. But first, think about the rest of the body. The middle and back legs are long and lightweight. That lets the mantis move slowly and carefully, creeping along twigs and leaves without shaking them. The body is slim and elongated, so it can hide along stems and branches instead of sitting out in the open like a beetle. And then there's the camouflage. This is where mantises stop being just a bug and start looking like glitches in the Matrix. Some mantises are bright, leafy green, perfect for blending into healthy plants. Others are dry brown, matching dead twigs and stems. Some species look almost exactly like dried leaves, with jagged edges and fake veins. Other species mimic flowers, with pink and white petal-shaped legs and bodies, so pollinators come close, thinking they've found a meal, and become the meal instead. There are even mantises that look like they're covered in moss, or lichen, as if the forest has grown on them. All of that design is for one simple strategy. Don't chase your food. Make your food come to you. Here's how a mantis actually hunts. It picks a good spot. Maybe a plant where flies like to land, a flower that pulls in bees and butterflies, a shrub on the edge of a field where grasshoppers jump through. Once it finds that perfect location, it becomes a statue. It lines up its body with the plant and barely moves. If the wind blows, it might sway just enough to look natural. But inside, the mantis is locked in, watching. An insect lands within reach. The mantis waits. It doesn't panic. It doesn't pounce early. It tracks the exact distance, angle, and timing. When the moment is perfect, those front legs launch. Again, about 1/20th of a second, much faster than you can blink, and over before your brain could even react. From peaceful garden monk to metal trap full of spikes. Once the prey is caught, there's no venom, no web to wrap it up, no sting. The mantis doesn't need that. It simply holds on and starts eating. Often, while the prey is still alive and struggling, it might start with the head. It might start with the chest. Either way, the end is the same. If this sounds brutal, that's because it is. Nature doesn't care about comfort. It cares about survival. And if you think this is bad, wait until you hear what happens during mating. Quick pause here. If you've ever seen a praying mantis in real life, drop a comment below and tell me where it was. garden, porch, schoolyard, randy bush. I'm curious how many of you have walked past one of these little assassins without even realizing it. Now, let's talk about the part everyone's heard of. The famous mantis cannibalism. You've probably heard the story. The female bites the male's head off after mating. It sounds like a horror movie plot, but it does happen. It's not every time, and not in every species, but often enough that scientists have seen it many, many times. Here's the cold logic behind it. The female is larger and needs a huge amount of energy to produce eggs. The male's main job is to deliver DNA. After mating, nature doesn't really need him around. So in some cases, the female simply turns her mate into a protein shake with legs. Sometimes the attack happens after mating. Sometimes she starts eating him during. And here's the creepy part I promised you earlier. Even if the female bites off the male's head, his body can keep moving and keep mating for a while. Why? Because insects don't run everything from the brain, the way we do. A lot of their basic functions and reflexes are controlled by nerve centers along the body. So the head can be gone, and the body is still delivering sperm and going through the motions. It's one of those moments where you realize just how different insect biology is from ours. To us, that's nightmare fuel. To the mantis, it's just an efficient energy transfer. If you're still here watching and your respect for the cute little mantis has changed, you're probably the kind of person who likes the real, sometimes ugly side of nature. Hit like if you haven't yet, so I know you want more of these deep dives into the creatures hiding right in plain sight. After mating, and, possibly, after turning her partner into dinner, the female focuses on the next stage, eggs. Instead of laying individual eggs here and there, a mantis produces a foamy substance that hardens into a protective case called an ootheca. If you've ever seen a tan, foamy, hardened blob stuck to a twig, a fence post, or a plant stem and wondered what it was, there's a good chance you were looking at a mantis egg case. Inside that case, dozens to hundreds of eggs are lined up in tight rows. Through winter or dry seasons, that ootheca acts like armor, keeping the eggs safe from weather and some predators. When conditions are finally right, usually in spring, the case comes to life. Tiny mantises start to emerge. They don't look like soft grubs. They look like miniature adults, skinny bodies, triangular heads, tiny raptorial arms. They may hang from the egg case on little threads before dropping off and crawling away, spreading out into the world like a tiny invasion force. Most of them won't make it. Birds, spiders, larger insects, and simple bad luck will take out a lot of the batch. And if food is scarce, young mantises will eat each other. Cannibalism doesn't wait for adulthood. The survivors grow through a series of molts, shedding their exoskeletons as they get larger. Each time they shed, they come back sleeker and more dangerous, heading toward that full final boss form you recognize. So where do you actually find these living weapons? Different mantis species live in a lot of places, especially in warmer regions. You might see them in fields, forests, grasslands, and definitely in gardens and yards. In some areas, people even buy mantis egg cases and place them in their gardens on purpose, hoping the hatchlings will help control pests. And yes, mantises will absolutely eat plant-damaging insects, grasshoppers, moths, some beetles, flies. That's the good news. The bad news is, they will also eat beneficial insects, bees, butterflies, even other predators like spiders. They are not hired hitmen working only for you. They're neutral. They take whatever they can catch. Still, spotting a mantis in your yard is usually a sign that your garden has enough life to support predators at the top of that tiny food chain. If you move slowly, you can sometimes get close. Even gently offer a finger for one to climb onto. Being one up close like that changes your perspective. It's hard to call it just a bug after that. Over time, people have attached a lot of symbolism to mantises. In some cultures, they stand for patience, stillness, and focus. They wait, watch, and then act in one clean, decisive move. Martial arts styles have even been designed around that idea of sudden, precise strikes, inspired by the mantis's attack. To me, the praying mantis is the perfect mix of calm and chaos. It looks peaceful. It moves slowly. It sways like a plant in the wind. But under that calm surface is a ruthless predator with a strike faster than your reaction time. A mating strategy straight out of a horror flick, and babies born already armed and dangerous. Next time you're outside, take 5 seconds and look a little closer at your plants, your bushes, your fence posts. That tiny, still shape that you thought was just a leaf might be someone else's worst day waiting to happen. If you want more no-fluff videos about the real lives of pests, predators, and everything crawling around your home and yard, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, And tell me in the comments which creature you want to see next. Ants, roaches, spiders, bedbugs, you name it. The more you want to know, the deeper we'll go.